Wow, in today's webisode, this Bitcoin monthly chart has something absolutely earth-shattering. We're going to show you one indicator on Bitcoin's monthly chart that will undoubtedly increase your velocity to maximum levels. And guys, wow, Ethereum's DeFi tokens are rapidly outpacing Bitcoin, and I am 100% convinced that altcoins, and specifically some of these that we're going to be talking about today, are going to help usher in this bullish cycle and make it that much stronger. And as well, this week we might actually see the culmination of the past 2.5 months for Bitcoin's price. With that exploding, altcoins have already been up massively over the past few weeks, and we think this trend will continue for sure. But we're going to get into details with Bitcoin's chart specifically, and as well, we want to take a look at another different altcoin today. Alt season is just beginning, and I think there's a ton of upside that we need to get prepared for over the next 2 years. This is not going to be a very short-term thing. I think the cycle that we're entering in the very, very, very beginning stages of now is a cycle that's going to last for at least, a year or two to come. It's going to be a big cycle in my opinion. And as well, that heavily relates to this Bitcoin monthly chart that we're going to be talking about as well. Yes. Wow, welcome back to another webisode, guys. Today we're going to cut right to the chase and get into some of these charts, specifically this Bitcoin monthly chart, which I'm very excited to talk about. One indicator specifically on this monthly time frame, to me, indicates a very big turnaround coming here and a very, very big increase in momentum happening shortly. Now, this is the monthly time frame, so keep in mind this does not indicate a specific day. It's not going to, pinpoint or give an indication of a specific day in the next week or something like that, but it 100% shows on these monthly timeframes things are about to accelerate a lot. And as well, guys, it definitely is a theme that I want to continue to keep talking about altcoins as we've been doing here and there for the past few weeks. And as well, this tweet about people taking the effort to learn about crypto and potentially 100xing or more their money heavily is regarding altcoins. For most people, they're in the space to make money. And as well, Bitcoin is definitely the safest, and you want to be involved in Bitcoin, in my opinion. However, as I've been saying for months, I think it's silly to absolutely disregard every other coin except Bitcoin. People call them poop coins, a bunch of bad names, but guys, there's some very, very, very legitimate projects that have already earned people millions of dollars, massive gains. It happens. It's going to keep happening, in my opinion, and especially in this cycle. If you haven't been around for a bull cycle, it is going to absolutely shock you just how explosive altcoins specifically will get. As I've said before, I was around in the 2017 bull run, and most of the money that I made, I want to say like 95% of it was actually on altcoins. I cover Bitcoin every day. I think it's the safest option. It's the thing I think that people should really get into crypto because of. But once you're involved, I 100% think it's smart to diversify and learn about these other projects and at least consider researching. I'm not saying consider investing, at least consider researching and getting a better understanding instead of just counting them all out, because some of them have value, some of them have great technology, and some of them are going to make you massive gains. Even in the past 3 months, we've seen tons of people. My portfolio specifically has done really well recently, especially because of these alt gains. And that is something I don't think is going to change. Okay, I think altcoins are going to play a huge role in this upcoming cycle. And if you follow the Bitcoin dominance over the past few years, that is also a telltale sign of altcoins becoming more and more dominant, more and more important, and just more and more necessary, in my opinion, if you're investing in the crypto space. Huge, guys. So without any further ado, if you want to win this ledger, if we actually hit 1,000 likes on this video, we'll give this away in the next video. So make sure to smash up the likes, hit that subscribe, and we can jump into the data. Guys, huge. So what I want to talk about on the Bitcoin monthly chart here, this is actually interesting to me, very much so. So as we all know, the very first 1 or 2 weeks of March, it was right around March 12th, we had the catastrophe around the world. And if we go to the RSI, you can see that correlates right to this big drop in the RSI. So RSI typically above 70, this line right here indicates overbought, and then below 40 or below 30 right about here indicates oversold. Now you can see we're not anywhere near 30 really, and we're not really even close to 70 right now. We're right in the middle. But one thing you can see, this goes back all the way to October of 2012 on the monthly chart. You can see back in the bearish market of 2015 there, going all the way down to that 44. We've already had that same 44 RSI touch here on the monthly chart right here, 44 back in January of 2019. Okay, that's when we likely bottomed out around that 4K level. I don't think we're ever going to 3 or 4K in my opinion. I've said that before, and I definitely just don't think we'll be there again. And as well, we bottomed out back in 2016 around that 50. Right around the 50 on the RSI, which we did as well back in November of 2019. But as you can see, we went substantially below that just a few months later. And why is that? it's because of what happened on March 12th, because of what happened in the global markets. Again, this is not just pure Bitcoin price. Luckily, for the past 10 years, luckily or unluckily, depending on how you want to look at it, Bitcoin has been able to exist in a basically only bullish stock market. For the most part, ever since 2008, 2009, after the crash, the market has been pretty strong. The financial markets have been pretty strong since then. So Bitcoin has basically only existed in a pretty bullish trend. Now, that's why some people are calling into question, the relation between cryptocurrency and financial markets if financial markets continue to take a tumble. Currently, they're in a very nice V recovery. Who knows how long that'll last, but you can see in March, the only reason we went back below this like 50 line on the RSI all the way back down to about 48 was because of what happened in March. Now, interestingly, we have this, okay? So we have the bottom around 44-ish, and then we come up here, initially find resistance around like the 57, 56-ish, same thing here, and we actually found support here, same as this time here. Now, the difference here is that this time, we went lower because of what happened in the world on March 12th. However, now we see the same thing happening here where we're again testing this 56 on the RSI. We're coming up right about here. But you notice last time, before the last bull run, this is basically before it went absolutely parabolic and did end up going all the way almost to 100 to about like 96 on the RSI at the very end of 2017 when Bitcoin went to 20,000 US dollars. So on the monthly time frame, I expect something very similar to this. Now, keep in mind, just this line right here actually goes out like 2 years. So that's why we say this cycle is most likely this is one visualization of why the cycle is most likely going to last a while, because we do anticipate something similar to this, maybe not completely identical, but similar to this. And this line right here, it looks pretty small on this chart. This line from here to here is the next 2 years. So this is 2 years worth of monthly RSI data here. For the most part, so many of these technical indicators with the RSI, so many of these resistance and supports are basically exactly the same, with the biggest difference actually just being that crash at the beginning of March. So either way, that's why we're going to switch into some short-term technical analysis for Bitcoin as well. But that's why for the most part, I don't care too much if in the next 2 weeks we would drop another $1,000 or something like that. It's not that big of a concern, or it's not big of interest to me right now anyway, because I know we're about to enter a much stronger cycle, guys. This is Bitcoin's RSI, but for the most part, this I think can be replicated on a ton of altcoins. And all I mean by that is I think altcoins are going to absolutely explode. So we try to cover different indicators and different on-chain analytics and everything. And this is just another thing that's pointing to the idea, and most likely, in my opinion, the very realistic scenario that we're going to absolutely blast off here before 2020 is over, or at least start this cycle. It doesn't mean we're going to hit $20,000 in 2 weeks from now, but I definitely think actually retesting 20K this year is very, very likely, very possible. But more importantly, even if that wouldn't happen, the trajectory to breaking 20K and going to 30, 40, 50 is still 100% the most likely scenario, especially in the year 2021. Even the most bearish people that I've seen in this space are pointing to 2021 as being a massively bullish year. So for anybody that's been here since 2018 or 2017 or even before that, you know that waiting another 6 or so months before really entering a majorly bullish cycle is not that much. Okay, massive. Now, before we jump into some more shorter term technical analysis, guys, I just want to remind you as well, if you're interested in getting some of these top cryptos and a new place to do it, check out the crypto.com app. And as well, if you sign up, you and I both receive that 50 free of MCO, which is very valuable in my opinion. So guys, I want to cover an altcoin that is not a DeFi token, but I actually wanted to read over this before we get into the short term Bitcoin technicals here. 10 DeFi tokens grew more than Bitcoin and the broader crypto market in the past 3 months, seeing up to almost 1,000% gains. But is this sustainable? So guys, the main point I want to cover in this, I'm not going to go through each and every single DeFi token here, but it's more of the principle of this and the growing explosion of DeFi and just how important I think it'll play in this alt cycle. So I've been in the space for about 3 years, a little over 3 years at this point. I've seen a lot of interesting stuff come and go. There are certain things that get the space very excited, but this is one of the more promising things I've noticed, and a lot of people are noticing this, and a lot of people are excited about this. So just roughly, I wanted to cover some main ideas here. 10 tokens associated with DeFi applications have outperformed crypto. Some actually going up 700, 800%. And specifically, tokens associated with lending and liquidity protocols performed the best. So in the last 3 months, they've actually performed better than Bitcoin by a lot. So over $2 billion worth of Ethereum and Bitcoin have found their way into DeFi protocols already. The second billion of that sum flooded in during just 3 weeks last month. And as well, DeFi platforms collectively are handing out $25 million per month to their users because of this lending and everything like that. 10 DeFi tokens recorded 41% and 800 and 4% growth since April. For context, Bitcoin and the entire crypto market grew by 27% in the same time frame. So you can see that chart here, the colors associated with the cryptocurrencies up here, and you can just see how explosive some of these were. And then it actually goes into detail about this. If you want to check out the rest of it, I can leave the link for this in the comments there. So basically the main idea though, decentralized finance with cryptocurrency, I think adds a lot of legitimacy for people that are interested in coming into the space that haven't come in yet. I think lending is a very attractive feature for a lot of people as well. And I think it's kind of just a model that will continue to work and continue to grow. Clearly it's been working so far. And guys, this also just ties into the main fact that altcoins and all of these other ideas and technologies being built in the cryptocurrency space that are kind of independent of Bitcoin have value. And at the very least, if you don't think they have value, at least they're somewhat interesting or novel, right? I think it's all pretty interesting stuff. Wow, so let's actually jump into some Bitcoin shorter time frame technical analysis now. We did get a rejection yet again, as we've seen time and time again ever since the end of April, right at this 2.5-year resistance right here, still fighting in between. As long as we hold above 9,100 in the short term, this remains extremely bullish with, again, a daily close above 9,100 being good. A daily close below that could indicate some further downside here, but that's still fine. We've had many of those in the past few weeks. So again, not anything to really get too excited about just yet. And as well, coming back into this channel, okay, still waiting for some momentum. One important thing we want to hold for as well on the daily and weekly chart is just above this 9,200. This is exactly where this box is. If we re-enter this box like we have multiple times since the end of April, really that would be no surprise, but we want to continue setting higher lows because we've already been setting higher lows on these more longer time frames here in the past 3 months. So we just want to continue to do that. We don't really want to go below 9,000 again. And one thing we do want to hold as well is this 21-day moving average, which currently we're actually below. The 21-day moving average is right around 92.50 right now. The 50-day moving average is around 93.70, I believe. Yeah, 93.80, 93.70. So we want to hold. We don't want to get rejected off of these moving averages right now. But again, in the long term, really not that big of a deal. We just got rejected basically at the 2.5-year resistance again. You can see it on this chart. You can see it on this chart as well, this green line, the two giant green lines that I have on here. Wow, and as well, we have XLM, which I want to talk about in this video. So XLM is an altcoin that I think as well has some nice upside potential. It's been an interesting few months for XLM's price, but currently I believe we're in a position where if we break above this about 9, almost 10 cent mark, right around the 9 cent mark, I think we could actually be seeing a nice little run for XLM in the short term as well. And this is a pattern that we see kind of repeating on many different altcoins. And that pattern I'm talking about is basically absolute destruction for most of the last 2 years. And we find this bottoming out for, a little over about a half a year going into an entire year, almost 365 days of this, trying to find a bottom, forming almost seeming like an inverse head and shoulder or something like that. The only reason is because this head was back on March 12th with the catastrophe. But again, I think it makes it a little less legitimate in terms of price action because of it not being related to actual technicals and more of a global crash. But overall, this is shaping up to be good. I think we're going to see a break here. But more importantly, the main thing I want to highlight about this is that altcoins in general, as they've been repeating this pattern, we're going to see a lot of them rebound if Bitcoin continues to increase. If Bitcoin breaks that 10K, if Bitcoin gets anywhere near 20K this year, we're going to see altcoins rebound phenomenally, in my opinion, as well. And we could actually see the altcoins rebound before Bitcoin and stronger than Bitcoin, okay, especially percentage-wise. So again, this is more of a pattern of just looking to see this absolute destruction for the past few years, ever since the beginning of 2018, and kind of a resurgence after trying to find the bottom, okay? I definitely think the main point of this as well is that we found the bottom in the entire global market, the entire crypto market, across the entire cryptocurrency market. Generally, I think we found a bottom. So from here, I think we're just going to pretty much end the consolidation phase and really start heading up here for a lot of these cryptocurrencies. As well, we have Digibyte here, getting that rejection right on this line. This is crucial. Again, validates this symmetrical triangle here. We could end up seeing it push down all the way to these levels right here. But for the most part, I think the momentum's still strong. And for the most part, I still anticipate this to break upwards when it does break. Okay, so I'm still watching Digibyte very heavily. I still have my position there because I think it's going to get pretty explosive this year, the end of this year. Quantum actually still looking pretty good. It's a coin we covered yesterday. And more importantly, the entire cryptocurrency market cap minus Bitcoin, so the entire altcoin market cap, still looking pretty healthy. And again, I would love to see altcoins actually continue and provide the burst that might actually lift a Bitcoin and let Bitcoin break 10K. Because altcoins 100% follow Bitcoin when Bitcoin breaks out, but there's tons of evidence in the past as well that altcoins can lead Bitcoin. Specifically, even last summer in 2019, Litecoin, the Litecoin halving, actually helped Bitcoin go from that 3 to 4K to 14,000 US dollars. Granted, that chart actually looks kind of weird. It looks a little out of place when you go to the monthly and weekly time frames, this right here. Okay, because if you go back in time, mainly what you see is a massive rally in these bull markets and then consolidation, just going down and down for months and then going up. Granted, there's only a few halvings to point to, but with this one, we saw it a little differently. It went down and then massively spiked back up instead of just consolidating down, down, down until absolutely entering a bull mode. So we saw this, and it was like a mini bull run for that entire summer, which was very interesting. It only lasted a few months, but it was very powerful. So huge, guys. Make sure if you smash it up to 1,000 likes, we can give this away in the next webisode. And as well, guys, if you're interested, definitely make sure to take advantage of that Ledger, 20% off the Ledger Nano X, and make sure to sign up for the Crypto.com app. When you sign up with the link below and you stake 50 MCO, you and I both received 50 free MCO. And huge, guys, I will see you in the next webisode.